Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Elevate Your Soul podcast. Have you ever heard of the law of attraction before? Well, this is just one of the 12 universal laws in our universe. And today I'm interviewing life energy coach, model, and public speaker Raymell Bentley on the 12 universal laws of our universe and how learning about them can help make sense of the world and ourselves, and just to help us learn about how energy actually works on this planet. You can find Raymell on Instagram at RaymellB or check out his website at www.bentleytransformation.com. And if you have a moment in time, if you could please write me a little review and leave a little 5-star rating, that would mean so much to me. And it just really helps get this podcast and this information out there. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I hope you can learn a lot from it. There's a lot of information in it, but it's a very powerful, powerful topic. I hope you guys enjoy. Hello, Raymell. Welcome to the Elevate Your Soul podcast.
Hello. I am excited to be here.
Great. First question I have for you and everyone who joins my show is, what elevates your soul?
Ooh, what elevates my soul? Learning.
Mm-hmm.
Really being a student of life and learning new things about myself, about others, about the world. And it just elevates me because I learned something new, which now I could apply and teach to others.
Exactly. I love that. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, my name is Raymell Bentley. I'm a life energy coach. So I help people who are stuck and not pretty much knowing, like, what is my purpose? What am I here for? I help them really tap internally, discover that, see what blockages that they have inside that's keeping them from expanding and growing,
Mm-hmm.
and create an action plan to make it become their reality.
Wow, I love that. I love that so much. So the topic today is on the 12 universal laws, something I've heard of about a year ago, and I was so fascinated about the idea of all the laws, because most people know about the law of attraction. Like, that's the one that's most common. It was on The Secret and that went viral. So most people hear of the law of attraction, and that's just one law, but you know of 12, and I've heard there are 12, and I would love to dive into what all of them mean. But first of all, can you let us know, why is learning about the 12 universal laws in the first place beneficial to our lives? Like, why would it be helpful?
Course. Now, just like we have man-made laws, like if you run a light, you may get a ticket, may go to jail, drink and drive, it's against the law. We know that those laws apply, and if you break them, there'll be a consequence. Well, the thing is, the same thing goes with the universe. There's laws and ways that things operate here, just like nature laws. Well, the thing is, we can't break these laws. We either learn how to work with them or we work against them.
Mm-hmm.
And being that we're unaware of them, we normally work against them, and we create things in our reality that we're not in love with because we give focus and energy as far as feelings and thoughts towards things that we don't want, hardships that are happening, not knowing that we're attracting more of those things to us because we're in a vibrational universe. So once I became aware of the laws and just know that there's a rhythm and a system of how this universe operates by, things started to click for me, and I wanted to share this knowledge with others.
Beautiful. I love that. Do you feel that there's like a difference in flow and ease of your lifestyle since you've incorporated knowing about the 12 universal laws?
Definitely. I don't put meaning towards things anymore. I just know I know like the power of my thoughts, the power of my feelings. I know that just things happen and they're not always going to stay that way. So just really what I give energy to now, I don't give much energy to things that don't make me feel good.
Good. I love that. I love that. All right. So I guess we'll start with the most common one, and we'll just like brush briefly over that, the law of attraction. And then from there, you can just roll on to the other laws. Yeah.
Well, the law of attraction is whatever you give your attention to, wanted or unwanted, is what you'll attract to you as your physical reality. And the thing is, there's power in our thoughts. Everything is energy. Everything. There's energy in our clothes, energy in us, animals, plants, trees. Everything is creative energy. Even the most solid form has a small piece of energy that is circulating and flowing through it. So the law of attraction is whatever we're giving our focus and our attention to. Meaning, if you're thinking about something, say if you want money, now if you're thinking about I want $1,000, but you're seeing you currently have $20 in your account, you're giving your energy to that $20 and you're sending that out into the universe. And law of attraction is whatever you give your energy and attention to, the universe is going to send you things that are going to block that $1,000 from coming because your focus is going on the $20. So whatever you give your energy to, energy grows where energy goes. So with this law, you just want to focus on things that you desire, the power of imagination. We hear it often, like just sit and visualize and think of something. But as the children, when we were kids, we used to do it all the time. It's when we became adults that we got so caught up in life and we just take it so serious because of what we were taught that we
Yeah.
forget to sit and visualize, imagine what you want. What does it look like? What does it look like going into that new home that you want? What does this kitchen look like? What's the bedroom like? The power of the imagination, you're sending that energy out into the universe. And like magnets to metal, the universe is going to send you whatever that image is that you hold in your mind.
And what's so good, what we're so good at as children as well is imagining what it feels like. Because I think that's another huge factor is don't like imagine what you want your husband or wedding to look like or the house or the car. Like actually feel, what does it feel like to drive that car? What will it actually feel like once you've been married? Is it really going to change your life? It may or may not. But yeah, I think that's what children are so good at. Like they get lost in their imagination, and they're not just so good at like imagining every detail in their minds. They're just so good at feeling it. You know, when they like just play whatever they want and they're like in their imagination, they're just so like in it. Like I'm a tiger right now, and they'll like actually believe that they are an animal.
Which
I love,
is the second universal law, the universal law of vibration,
yeah,
which a lot of people are unaware. And we hear of the law of attraction and we think that's like this most powerful law. It is powerful, but like you said, as children, we focus on the feeling. And the law of vibration is more powerful because we're in a vibrational universe. So
yeah,
whatever we're feeling is what we're sending out. And that's truly what we're attracting to us. You can think of the $1,000, but if you're feeling like I'm broke because all I see is $20,
yeah.
that's your dominant feeling. And that's what you're going to send out, like attracts like. So even in regards to like relationships, friendships,
Mm,
wherever you are vibrationally, meaning if you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling like, I love myself, I am like a powerful being, you're going to be around people who are on that same frequency.
hmm.
But if you're feeling like, I hate myself, I'm not enough, I'm this, and you're going to attract people who are either going to validate that for you
Oh,
or they're going to be on that same frequency. And you
yeah,
guys are going to just pity party away about how you're not this. And
yeah.
that's where you're going to attract and stay versus you have the power to shift that by changing how you feel. And that's why affirmations, gratitude, like those different practices help shift that vibrational feeling, and you'll send a different frequency out and get something back that you actually want.
That's so true. And it reminds me about the money example you had before as well. Like a lot of people will say, I want more financial freedom or I want more wealth and abundance. But when they're focused on the lack that they have right now, that's like what kind of like doesn't make the law of attraction work for them because they're like, oh, I want so much money because I'm so poor right now. I don't want to be poor anymore. I don't want to have to struggle for money anymore. I don't want to have to look at the price tags for things anymore. And you're like validating the fact that you don't have money right now. And that's like the tricky thing is like if you want the abundance is like to already have that mentality as though you're already living an abundant life, right?
Because the universe doesn't know time. Time doesn't exist in that like fifth dimensional world. Like the only thing it knows is the present. So wherever you are vibrationally in this present moment, it's what you're going to attract to you. I actually was having a coaching session before we hopped on here, and
Yeah.
my client is in the process of transitioning to a new phase, but there was some resistance in embodying being this boss CEO. And the thing that I had to bring to his awareness that what you're saying, like I have to see it to believe it, is the opposite. Just
Hmm.
like we don't see energy in a socket that we're plugging something in to believe and know that it's going
Yeah.
to turn that device on,
Or that
but
I'm
that's
calling you from LA right now and I'm in New Zealand. It's like we're not
like,
really thinking about it. We're just like, click on this link and we'll be on a call together.
oh. So that's the thing, is
Yeah.
where the vibration, the internal energy is powerful, because that whatever thought that we're thinking, we're plugging that in here.
Mm.
And whatever we connect or disconnect, so it's kind of like a reception on the phone. If there's a good signal, that call's going through, meaning your belief and what you're thinking are matched. But if you don't believe what you're thinking, then that's where that signal goes bad, and that calls either pitchy in and out, or it's just not going to connect. And that's the thing, we're not connecting to things that we want because vibrationally we don't believe it. So it's
Hmm.
just, a law of vibration is whatever you are feeling, whatever vibration, whatever just energy you're sending out with what you're feeling, is what you'll attract to you.
Wow, I love that. So the law of attraction, the law of vibration. What's the
Mhm.
third law?
I have to bring it back to the first universal law, which
Yeah.
this is the most important. This is the
Okay.
universal law of divine oneness.
Oh, yes.
So everything is connected to a source energy. Some call it God, Buddha, Allah, whatever it is, but everything is connected to that source. And being that a lot of us are unaware that we're connected to everything, you and I are connected, the plants in the back, my dog, my chair, like everything is connected because everything is energy. How we treat others in the world, how we come together in a power of harmony, of love, of unity, creates a powerful force, and that's how we expand, evolve, and we create a better world. A lot of us are unaware that we're connected to each other and things around us, so
Yeah.
we disconnect ourselves and we separate, and we don't allow the expansion and the growth that is needed within ourselves and in the world and others. So the universal law of divine oneness is everything is connected to a source energy. And pretty much you just want to make sure you are being love, you're being kindness, you're being a good just person and being in the world. And that's how you're able to contribute and connect to other things around you. So for me, I'm connecting with nature because I'm seeing the there's no separation. You have so many different variations of flowers that are not this group, that group, this group. They're all coexisting and just a beautiful creation. So it's really just knowing that you're connected to everything in
Hmm.
the universe. Even an insect, it's a part of
Yeah.
us, is energy. So
Yeah.
everything is connected to a source energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Which in the end, we shouldn't really feel that alone and lonely either, because we don't realize that yeah, we're all family, so to speak.
All one.
We're all
All
one. Yeah.
So universal law of divine oneness. That is like, for me, once I started to truly connect with that law,
Hmm.
anywhere I go, where I don't even litter any. I mean, there was a time I used to just throw it, nobody's seen it, but
Yeah.
now I'm more cautious of like, no, this is connected to me.
Yeah.
I'm damaging where I'm like existing and others. So let me not how I'm treating people. Like I'm truly more compassionate with others and not judgmental and really just a good being, because anyone that I see or having in contact with is a reflection of myself. So really, I wanted that is like an important law that we all need to know. Like we're connected. There's no I and we.
It's so important. Did you apply that to yourself though? Did you like from from having that awareness and wanting to like treat nature better and other people better and stuff because you knew the law of oneness, did you like start to treat yourself better and will have like nicer thoughts in your head and things like that?
Well, I just more so started to connect with the inner creator within myself,
Okay.
because before I was so disconnected and I was just so of the world, meaning I was just letting what happened on the media, social media, out like drama. Like I was so in tune with that and out of tune with myself that once I truly started to connect internally, I started to be able to appreciate flowers and trees. I have on my phone so many flowers I've like taken pictures of. And when I
Oh,
walk to the park, it's this tree and it has such strong roots.
yeah.
And I just like ground myself with that tree and I touch it. And there's like an energy exchange that I feel like protected and stable. And truly knowing that I have so much support that I see and I don't see because everything is energy and everything is connected.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I love that. I love that. And is that usually listed as like one of the first laws? Like, is there an order of the 12 or?
Definitely is the
Okay.
first law because once you know that you're connected to that source energy and everything is energy,
Mm,
all the other laws just kind of like they all flow with each other.
yeah.
So we already covered the law of attraction, the law of vibration. Now we'll talk about the law of polarity.
Hmm.
Everything has a polar opposite. There could be no right without left, up without down, good without bad. But whatever we give our attention to, energy is what will attract us our physical reality. So, in regards to this, could be something going on in life and money. You could think about, I want the thousand, but you have 50 or $20 in your account. So, if you're giving gratitude for what you have, and you're giving a good vibration of like, I'm so thankful that I have this in my account, and you give out an energy of gratitude, now you're going to attract more to the universe. It's like you're thankful. Let me give you more things to be thankful for. But if you're focusing on, I don't have this money, I can never get this money, I'm broke, the energy that you're given dominantly is not enough, lack.
Mm,
So you have the option to shift your energy by shifting your focus to the opposite side. But we often get so caught up in life. We'll have 10, this happened to me last week. I had like 5 different things going like so good and 2 things weren't.
yeah.
And I was focusing on the 2 that
Yeah.
weren't. And I still have 5 good things that are happening.
Hmm.
And we do that. We give energy to the small things and we have an abundance of like things to be grateful for. And once we really allow ourselves to know that we have the power of our focus, the power of our thoughts, which create our feelings. So if you're thinking about the good, you're attracting more good to you.
Yeah.
But if you're focusing on the bad, that's what you're going to attract. And knowing that if something bad is going on in your life, there has to be an opposite of good there.
Right. There's always an opposite. Yeah.
That don't give so much life to just that bad because now you're not even able to see the good. So the law of polarity.
The law of polarity. Yeah. It's funny because like we could have 1,000 good things in our life and one bad thing. And we'll be like, ah, the one bad thing. Like, yeah, for myself, I'll have like thousands of people probably around the world who know about me, of me, and are like inspired by me or listen to my podcast or whatever and then watch my posts. And then I'll have like one hater who'll like send me like hate mail. I'll be like, oh, I feel so bad. This one person doesn't like me. But I love this like one quote, which like helps with the haters is like, why are you so worried about someone not liking you if you don't even like them? Right? It's like, you don't even like that person, then why does it matter if they like you or not?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, funny. Law of polarity. Can you give us one other example of that law, just so I can wrap my head around that?
So law of polarity. So pretty much it's just knowing that everything is just always going to be right or left.
Okay.
So knowing that
Applied to
everything has ages, right or left, good or bad, up and down, happy or sad, fear, faith, abundance, broke, everything just has both sides. So really allow yourself just in life, because you're gonna have things that are gonna happen. Like we are saying, you can have thousands of people know you, they love you, and you're giving energy to that one person. And knowing that whatever you give energy to, it's going to be what you attract. So the law of attraction, you're focusing on not enough. You're focusing on the haters. You're focusing on lack of love, lack of money, lack of enough. And the universe is just going to always send you that. So just knowing that good can't exist without bad. And even in the bad times, there's always something trying to reveal itself to you. Nothing is ever a coincidence in life. So we get so caught up in bad being a bad thing.
Yeah.
Bad is always trying to show you how to appreciate good. So
Right.
it's really how you're seeing it. it's what gonna be, either you're gonna be in a bad feeling and a bad of thought, and you're like, it's never gonna work out. It's
Yeah.
never gonna work out.
Yeah.
But you have that power to shift it by
Mm-hmm.
shifting your focus to that other side. With
Yeah.
my clients, I do that a lot. They'll have some things going on, like in relationships. So I'm like, okay, let's write a list. So I have them put a good and a bad side. I'm like, so write 10 bad things about the situation. Now write 10 good things. And they'll see like, I have more good that I can actually write out than
Yeah.
bad. And it lets them see I've been giving energy to all this little small list. And I
Yeah.
got this long list of stuff that I could, and I'll have them focus on that, add some affirmation so they can be grateful for that good list, and their energy shifts and their reality changes because now they're starting to see that good list, more things attract to them that match that frequency.
Yeah. Yeah. Fully. Awesome. Love it. So that's the fourth law.
The yes, four. So now we're gonna go into the universal law of rhythm.
Oh,
And everything has a rhythm. It has a beat. I see your story, you dance.
yes.
Everything has a rhythm. And in life, everything has a season, a cycle. Things are always changing. Nothing
Yeah.
stays the same.
Yeah.
And once we realize that things are going to be good, they're going to be bad. Things are going to be good, they're going to be bad. When they're in that bad time,
Challenge.
that's when you have to recharge yourself,
Mm,
self-work, write, read, do things that are going to put you in a place to where when it rises, you're ready to conquer. But
yeah.
we get into that downtime and we think it's over.
Yeah.
It's hopeless. It's never going to get good. And as we're learning, our thoughts, our feelings create our reality. If you're in that low and you're focusing on things are never going to get good, I'm never going to catch a break, you're starting to feel hopeless,
Yeah.
you're just attracting that to you. So you won't even be in a place to rise because you're just in that vibration of not enough, lack, won't ever happen. But when you know that, okay, you may, and this happens to me all the time with my business, I'll have months where I'm killing it, I'm making lots of money. The next month, not as much.
Yeah.
So what do I do in the high and I'm making money? I'm saving it. You
Yeah.
prepare when it's in the high time. You do all that you need to do when things are going good.
Yeah.
So when things are low, that's when I'm like, okay, this is my time to create.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not in the funk of, oh my God, I'm not bringing in money right now. It's like I don't allow myself because now I know like, oh, this is just my down season.
The seasons. Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel that with the rhythm, you said good and bad, I would just say ease and challenging. um, when life just seems really easy and with flow, and then when life seems a bit challenging. Did you, through your journey of personal development and working on yourself, did you find though that the seasons of challenge happen less frequently or for a shorter period of time the more you worked on yourself?
It's always gonna happen. I just start to embrace it because that's just how it is. Just like how we know in the weather, we have summer, spring, winter, fall,
Yeah.
and they're just gonna they're when it's their season, it's gonna be. So
Mm,
I know that life is always gonna be up and down. So it's not gonna ease up. I just know how to handle it in a
yeah.
way that I'm responding versus reacting. Because when I reacted before I didn't know, like even with the whole season and cycle, that comes with relationships too.
Hmm.
Certain friendships and relationships I tried to hold on to,
Mm,
our season and cycle was over. But
yeah.
I was trying to hold on to it. And we do that because we don't know that things have a season and a cycle. Even like someone you may think it's the love of your life, but your season may be over. That cycle may be over. And we think it's the end of the world. But when you know that everything has a rhythm, a season and a cycle, now I had a friend who I used to work out with all the time. We were just always around each other and we had a little just disagreement. And instead of me going into the drama like, oh, you should have did this or that, I'm like, our season is over. And I was at peace with it. Because I'm like, okay, we did what we were supposed to, and now our season is over. So now something new is supposed to happen in my life and vice versa. So it didn't put me in a vibration of not feeling enough, not feeling like someone wants to be with me. And I'm just like, okay, now excited, like what's the next thing that's gonna come
Yeah.
my way?
That's so important in relationships too, because yeah, a lot of people like hold on to romantic relationships. I held on to friendships as well. That was like something I was, but I'm learning as well. Like when my old high school friends or whatever, like when that didn't turn out anymore, that kind of just like for the rest of my life, I was like, okay, friends are gonna come and go, I guess. But yeah, I feel like if you are in the rhythm and things get dark or challenging, I do feel that personal development does make those times, for me at least, made them a lot shorter in duration and a lot less frequent. Because as you said, it's your perception of it. So it's not that things don't come up that are challenging, they always, always will. But because your perception is different, it doesn't feel like the be all end all and like life is falling apart or your business is falling apart or your body's falling apart or whatever. You're just kind of like, okay, this is a challenge. I'm going to make sure I'm in the right mindset for it. This is a season, you know, it'll get easier again. This is just the challenging bit. We'll get through this. Like, yeah.
Which goes into the next law, the universal law of relativity. Nothing in life has any meaning until we have meaning to it.
Mm,
Nothing has any meaning. If someone were to say, hey, come to me, you're ugly. Okay.
yeah.
What does it mean? Am I adding meaning like, oh my God, I'm ugly, I need to change myself? Or am I adding meaning like, you crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But nothing has any meaning until we add meaning to it. And we often put so much meaning, even in the law of rhythm. Like if you put meaning into the darkness of, oh my God, it's just a hard just time and I'm just not gonna ever get better, then that's the meaning you put in. Your interpretation of that dark time could be like, okay, what does this mean? I'm
Yeah.
gonna snap out of it.
Yeah.
And you snap out of it. But it's more so what meaning are we putting behind things?
Yeah.
It's what we're gonna give energy to and what we're gonna attract to us. So
Right.
if you are in a place where you feel like you don't have enough money, someone in a third world country wish they had what you had.
Yes.
So while you're putting meaning because you're comparing what you have to someone else
Yeah.
that you don't know what they did to get or what they're going through,
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing has meaning until you're adding that meaning to it. So it's only until you're comparing something to someone else or something else that
Hmm.
you're applying meaning to it. Water is water, but whether it's hot or cold is what we put meaning to, right? It's like, okay, we could turn it on, it's too hot, it's too cold. But for you, it can be warm. For
Yeah.
you, it cannot be. But it's like whatever meaning we're putting in things in life is what it will be, because that's what we're going to give our focus to thought wise. That's what we're going to put our feelings to. And that's what will create us our reality.
I love that. What was that law called?
The universal law of relativity.
Relativity. Ah, okay. So what we relate things to. Oh, that one's interesting because that's a lot about our like mindset, creating our reality.
And that's where, for me, I stopped putting meaning behind so much. You
Right.
know, someone you have plans with someone and they cancel.
Yeah.
I used to put so much meaning before, like, oh my God, they don't want to be around me. No one wants to be around me. I'm not loved. Now I'm like, okay, it just wasn't meant to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Which is still a meeting, but it's just a
But
more
it's
positive
the
one.
meaning
More,
I put
okay, they're
with.
busy. They have other priorities.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, we could do that. We could put so much emphasis on things and put so much meaning we're now going to put so much thought, that emotional attachment is there, and we're going to create more of that experience for us. So now I'm like, nothing means anything
Yeah.
until we have meaning to it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. The next one?
All right. So now we'll talk about the universal law of compensation. And this one is as within, so without. So anything you see in your external world, you see as your physical reality, is all a reflection of what is in here. Wherever you are vibrationally is what you're going to see. So if you're in a vibration, a feeling of self-love, empowerment, of you just know your worth and know you are enough, you're going to see that as your reality. You're
Mm,
going to have encounters with people like that. You're going to have just attract mates and friends and things that match that vibration. But if you're seeing a lot of drama, a lot of chaos, a lot of just static in your life, that means internally you got some things you need to heal and deal with to shift that energetic focus. But whatever we see as our physical reality is based on how we feel. So someone who is like saying, "Oh, I feel good, I'm happy, I love myself," but you got a bunch of drama in your background, that's not the truth of the matter, because that wouldn't be what you see if you truly felt those things about yourself. So it's pretty much a 360 mirror of what's in here is what we see when we look at our physical reality. So it's really just, if you're not in love with where you are in life, if you
Mm,
don't have the money you want, you don't have the mate that you want, you're not in a just place of really self happiness and self love,
yeah.
you have that power to work on that
Yeah.
internal, because whatever is internally there is what you're going to see with your physical eyes.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And for people who, yeah, their health isn't right as well, would you say it's the same thing? If people are struggling with the same health issue for years and they'll blame it on genetics or something super external, right?
Mm-hmm. Because
Yeah.
everything is energy and everything is within our control, meaning you have the power to shift things, especially even disease is just dis-ease.
Yeah.
It's energetic blocks that's within your body that's not allowing it to flow. So it becomes these major things, or others like just diabetes, high cholesterol, like things of that. But we have that power, and what you see, yeah, it's going to be. So if a person is internally feeling like, I don't want to work out, I don't have like the confidence and all of that,
Yeah,
they're not going to be motivated to physically go and do those things. So that's where you have to internally
exactly.
shift those things within you. And that's where working with the coach, healing trauma,
Yeah.
going internal and doing that work allows you to shift that internal vibration, because a lot of us are holding on to beliefs and things that were passed to us that now become limitations and keeps us from expanding. So you have to even know if what's within you
Mhm.
that you need to release and fix. So that universal law of compensation is just showing you that whatever you see as your physical reality is based on where you are vibrationally internally.
I think that one's probably my favorite law. The universal law of compensation. Yeah, I love it. It's just so in your face and you can't fuck with it. It's just like, mirror, there
It's
you
a
go.
mirror.
Thought you healed all your traumas. Never mind.
And it's still even one for me, like, because even like throughout my day, if I am encountering like just people flicking me off or something while
Yep.
I'm driving or something, I do an energy check for me now. I'm like, okay, man, how are you feeling? Because this is where you're attracting this. So now I just start to like, instead of me reacting and doing that back to them, I'm just like, okay, Raymell, check yourself. And
Yeah.
I'm able to shift my focus and create a, 'cause, someone will have something happen to them that they're unaware that it's already here. And then they do what, claim a bad day. I'm having a bad day. So everything that they are vibrationally is bad day. And they're going to, you can shift that, but we get lost
Yeah.
in our thoughts of what it is versus, nah, you have the power to shift it, which goes into our next law. I love how everything is kind of flowing. The universal law of perpetual transmutation. Now, this is pretty much what I was just saying. You have the power to change your reality. So if you're not in love with what's happening right now in your life, if you don't have the things that you want, money, car, like I always say, because those are what we want. We want more money, we want love, we want happiness, we want better career. If those things are not what you currently see, you have the power to shift your energy, because you shift your thoughts and your feelings, which change your reality. So we often look for things outside of us to change things in our world, but nothing outside of us can do that, because no one can think for us, no one can feel for us. Only we can do that. And
Yeah.
if you want to change things in your life, that's when you have to shift your focus and shift how you feel about it, align those things and create a new reality.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Going back to the other law of compensation, it just reminded me, if I wonder if there's like a guru out there who can, um, if there's like a certain meaning behind, which there might not be, but like between for example, when you were saying like someone flipping you off, like external people showing you signs or internal? Because like for me, the more I worked on my internal energy field,
Mhm.
um, I attracted, like I could totally tell my external world changed, like the people, the nature, like the animals, like everything around me just became so much more beautiful. But internal, that's like where my struggle is like more like health issues and like irritable bowel syndrome, like having a weak gut and things like that. Like that's, and there are like other physical factors to that, due to like birth and my mom when she was pregnant with me. But like I wonder if there's a link between like, because have you heard of Louise Hay? She like has a certain meaning to everything that happens in your body, like whether you get a certain type of cancer or skin tags or yeah, irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, diarrhea, like vomiting, like problems with your eyes or your nose, sinuses. Like she'll have like a certain reason to like each symptom in the body and like what it's related to, like what organ it might be related to, and then what kind of like stressful triggers that health symptom. So that's just like another, like I wonder if there's someone out there who can be like, oh, like this health problem is related to this, and like if you're attracting like toxic people who are never sober into your life, it's maybe because of this. But that was just a
Mhm.
thought. Yeah,
Oh, that's interesting. I love that.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so and then after compensation, the last one was that you covered was called
Perpetual transmutation.
transmutation. Yeah.
Perpetual transmutation, yes. And that's just pretty much, we have the power to shift things in our lives. So don't ever, never think that something is just how it is and it can never change. And the only way that it can ever change is if we never change how we see it and how
Right.
we feel about it. Because when you do that, that's when you're shifting your focus and creating a new reality. But if you get lost in just all the hardships, lack,
Mhm.
not enough, and those things, unfortunately, you're going to continue to attract that to you because that's where you're giving your dominant thought and your dominant feeling. And how the law of attraction and vibration works, it becomes your reality. So yeah, I just want to just definitely just never think that where you are right now is how it's gonna just be, because energy is always expanding, things are always growing. So, and know too that with the perpetual law of transmutation, energy is always going in and out of form. So it goes from a thought and it has to come to a thing. So
Mhm.
it's never, energy is always doing that. So just know that wherever you want it to be, it could be.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you want more money, you can have it. If you want love, it's there.
Yeah.
You want a better career, like it's possible, but it's just you shifting whatever you give your energy to as far as good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, interesting. Interesting.
Because we're so powerful. It's that right there. Once I
Yeah.
learned that, it just really allowed me to see how powerful I am. Because if I have the power to change my reality, if I've been broke, and which I have, I went from a place of lack to where I was working for someone else,
Yeah.
barely making enough, to now I'm working for myself and
Nice.
making more than enough. But I had to shift my focus to from lack to abundance and really trust that these laws are going to work with me. And honestly, it's like a kid in a candy shop now. I'm like, what do I want to manifest? And I just like make it happen.
Is the law of manifestation one of them, or is that not a law?
A
No.
lot of these laws, like honestly, I thought law of attraction and law of vibration.
Yeah.
Now we'll go into the law of action,
Hmm.
because you have to take action in order to make these things become your physical reality. If you're thinking I'm hungry and your stomach is growling, you got to go get something to eat or make something to eat, right? Like everything requires action. And a
Yeah.
lot of people, when they hear a manifestation, they think it's just a like put your arms together, dot your head down, and it's going to appear. You have to take action.
Yeah.
So really, we hear so often that you have to work 24 hours a day. You have to blood, sweat, and tears, and just never get rest, never get sleep, and take action, 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 action.
Yeah.
It's not the right way. Because if you are taking action when you're not in alignment with what you're thinking and how you're feeling, it's not going to manifest what you want. You're
Yeah.
just going to create more resistance for yourself to not attract that money, not attract that love, not attract that house, car, whatever you want. So whenever you're in the using the universal law of action, make sure that what you're thinking and how you're feeling about it is in alignment, because that's when you get inspired, you get creative, you'll have like an encounter with someone who is like wanting to start something with you, or like that's when the action becomes effective. But when what you're thinking about and how you're feeling about it, if you're thinking about starting a new project but you're doubting it, you don't believe in it,
Yeah.
you're doing what you're forcing that action, which means it's not going to be at its best.
Yeah.
So universal law of action, take action when your thought and your feeling is in
Mm,
alignment at a high, and that's when it just flows to you, because
yeah.
it just everything you want, it's just like you're knocking out so many things. And I know for me that's how it is whenever, and I just was talking to someone about this the other day, like I wasn't in alignment with my thought and my feeling as far as being creative. So I'm like, I'm not going to do anything right now. So the
Yeah.
old me would have tried to do something, got into a vibration of, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not being able to create, and forcing it and being in that energy of not enough, it's not going to happen, and keeping it from coming to me versus I'm not inspired right now. No, I'm not taking action. And I just did something else that made me feel good.
Yeah, and as a creator and an artist as well, like you have to be in the right space, because if I do a podcast and I'm not feeling it, or I do a video and post on social media and I'm like not really in it and I'm not in the right mindset, or I'm feeling like low self-esteem or shitty, or if there's something on the back of my mind that someone else has pissed me off earlier that day, like you can't, like other people will feel that even if you like post that video or post that podcast, like
Mhm.
energetically when someone's listening to that, it'll just like it'll get less views or like something, because the energy in the production was off. And I think
Mhm.
that like, yeah, it sticks and it does make a big difference. But do you recommend people do the law of action if they feel, if they're shitting on themselves and they feel like it's something that they should be doing and it's the right thing to do, and they're not in the mood, for example, like working out if someone wants to lose weight because
Mhm.
they need to, um should they, and they're not like in the mood to work out, should they still apply the law of action? Is like, well, I'm gonna like go to the gym and bust my ass even though, vibrationally or mentally I'm not prepared or feel like I should do? Would you
Well,
still
that's where
recommend
we
like
go into universal law of relativity. What
right,
meaning are they putting behind?
right, yeah,
Do I feel inspired? Because if you're putting meaning like, oh my God, I don't have the time, I don't have, then that's where you can shift that.
yeah,
You can shift it to, I'm going to become a better version.
mm-hmm,
Start finding the good things and the polarity of it. Start finding, okay, I'm going to have these pants are going to fit good, this shirt. Like that's where you're shifting that low vibration to what you were thinking about and how you felt about it. So now you're shifting it to excited because you're like, I'm about to be snatchingly good.
yeah,
And that's where you get into alignment to want to take action. But
yeah,
it's just really knowing you have the power. What meaning are you putting behind it? What are you looking about, the lack of time, lack of this, or the what you can create to, it's really that you see how all these laws now you can just pull them out and create a
yes.
whole combo.
Ew, which combo of laws would you like today for your issues? Okay, so yeah, I get that. The law of relativity. So it's like what you're relating to going to the gym. And it's also like finding something that you like to do. Like maybe you should be dancing instead of lifting weights. Like what lights you up? What feels good when you move your body? Yeah.
Mhm. All right, so now we'll go into the universal law of cause and effect. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So what we do to others is always going to come back to us.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you being in the world? How are you being with others? And that goes into the law of compensation, because how you're being to others is just a reflection of how you're being to yourself.
Yeah.
But when you really know that internally you have that power to shift, heal, and work on those things, how you're being in others is really going to create the reality and experiences that are going to be in alignment to feeling good and enjoying this beautiful experience of life, or you're going to create drama, heartache,
Yeah.
lack of money, lack of love, lack of abundance, because you're not being that in the world and not with others. So with this law, truly is you just want to be cautious of what you're doing, how you're treating people,
Yes.
how are you living with integrity, are you being love? Are you judging people? If you're judging people and telling them what they need to do, don't need to do, or how they look, or whatever the case, you're not being good in the world. And the universe is going to send you things that are judging you or putting you in that like
Yeah.
vibration. So it's really just being cautious of how you're being in the world, how you're treating others in the world. Everything has a cause and effect.
It's crazy how like if you seem to really know these laws off by heart. You're not even like looking at like a thing. You're just looking at them off by heart. But it's crazy how like if you'd study this, you eventually you'd learn to just like embody all of the laws naturally without even thinking about it. And like this one of the law of cause and effect, that's like one that I didn't always have it, but I adopted it maybe the last few years of my life too. Like I never used to have it, and I don't know what it was that shifted.
Mhm.
Um, maybe just a lot more empathy or something. But I have that too, and I'm like, even if someone's being rude to me, I'm like, I'm no better than them if I'm like being bitchy to them back. And
Mhm.
I'm very aware of that. Like even if I like kill a mosquito, I'm like, ah, or like if I like try to get a spider out of my room and I like break one of its 8 legs, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, like, forgive me. I didn't mean to. Yeah. I'm like, I need to be nice to everyone. Yeah. And I call other people out on it too. Like, especially like people who are close to me. If I see them like judge someone else like poorly or, yeah. And like, it's almost like they don't even really realize they're doing it. And I'll call them out. I'm like, hey, how would you feel if someone did that to you? Like, I always say that at
Oh,
it.
now that you know the universal law of compensation, so now when you're around someone they're doing that, just know that they're just talking about how they're feeling. Because whenever
Yeah.
you're judging someone else, you're
Yeah.
just saying what you're internally feeling about yourself. So
Totally.
now I would have compassion and sympathy over like, yo, you know, you're just saying how you're feeling about it. And that, but people don't like to get caught out in that way. That's a trigger
Yeah.
for a lot of people. So I would just be cautious. But I now know when I'm around people and they're judging, I have empathy because I'm like, you just talking all about yourself right now. You didn't even talk about that person. Take that person out the equation and just put your face on it, and that's what you're talking to. So I look at it like,
Yeah.
and I don't join in because I'm not in a place of, I'm in a place of love. So I'm only seeing love in others.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. And yeah, and I realize that as well. You can definitely see the insecurities when someone's always like, "Oh my god, that other person like blah 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 blah," and that other person blah blah blah. Did you see the way that person looked at you? Did you see the way that person looked at me? And it's like I'm like just walking along, minding my business, like, oh, what? I don't actually realize really what anyone's doing. I just see people like walking around doing their thing. Like I don't really take notice so much, you know. And I realize that with some people, they're very like when they're out in public, they're very like cautious of how other people are looking at them or what other people may be thinking. And yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
goes back to their insecurities or low self-esteem or
Yeah, yeah.
judgment of themselves. They're constantly judging themselves.
Mm-hmm. And they
Yeah.
just put it out into the world.
Yeah.
All right, and now we'll go into the universal law of compensation, which this is pretty much yin and yang to the law of cause and effect. So this is how, what are you giving? What you give in the world is what you're going to give back. And often we think giving has to be materialistic, money,
Hmm.
car, house, clothes, but giving can just be giving a hello,
Hmm.
giving a have a good day, giving your time if you have it, giving an ear, giving a voice. What you give in the world, you'll always get that back to you.
Hmm.
And a lot of us, we become stingy and selfish, and we're like, oh, I just have enough for me and I don't want to give, or I don't have time, or just the littlest things that we tend to just think that it's just ours and we're just being stingy with it. But
Yeah.
truly, what you give is what you'll always receive back. So always have a giving heart if you have it to give. But if you don't have money, give time. If you have like whatever it is that you feel
Yeah.
called to give, know that that is what you'll be rewarded back. But what you don't give, you won't get.
Hmm.
So if you're not giving love, you're not giving support, don't think that those things are going to come to you. And we often think I'm supposed to just receive, but we don't give and we play the victim. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants to do it. It's like, but what are you giving in the world? Oh,
Hmm.
I don't have the money. I don't have this. You don't have to give those things. What are you giving in the world? How are you contributing? So
Yeah.
just really be cautious of what you are giving or if you are even giving, and just give from a place of love, give from an authentic, pure place, and you'll always receive just abundance of rewards from the universe, because it's just a flood of give and a flood of receive is what it is.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, not a lot, but some people are they don't want to give without knowing that they're going to receive something back straight away. Yeah,
Hmm.
they're very like, why would I do that? I'm not going to get anything back. And we live in a world where a lot of people work for they're trading their time for money, right? So it's like, I do this, you pay me back straight away, and that's it's very like transactional. So yeah, this law is quite different. It's very like energetic, like trust the universe, like whatever you put out there, even though you're not getting immediate return from the same person or the same thing, you're going to get a return in another way.
Hmm. And it can even be like if you're starting a new business, or you wanting to create like a audience on a platform. Often we think we have to have something that has a price tag attached to it, versus you can just give good words of wisdom. You can
Yeah,
give good energy, give the motivation,
yeah,
and the universe is going to give you an abundance of things that you could expand and grow from. But we often just think like either it has to have money attached to it, or it has to have something material attached to it
yeah,
in order for us to give. And that is definitely blocking you from receiving so much abundance when
yeah,
you have that like mindset and that feeling.
yeah, yeah. Was that number 10 or 11 already?
So I think that was 11. So we've
Yeah.
done law of attraction, vibration, divine oneness. We've done the law of polarity, rhythm, relativity, action, compensation,
Cause and effect.
effect, compensation. And now we're on the last one, the universal law of gender. Everything has a masculine and a feminine, and that's how things are created. So this law is the most important law as the divine oneness, because truly when you match a masculine energy, which is like the structure, like think of it as like a boat or like a bowl, that's like the grounding, that's like the thing that gives you stability whenever you want to create or
Yeah.
have that safe space. You got to have that container, that safe space.
The ground, like the groundedness, being grounded.
Yes. Hmm.
Hmm.
The feminine is that's the creative. That's the things that pretty much goes into the house and just creates this beautiful scenery that you can enjoy and just be in love with. So just think of something you want to manifest. When you're thought of what you want, as far as money, house, love, and that belief in it, it's an alignment. The action you take creates it to manifest into your reality. It can be no other way, but it's really aligning, because the masculine would be the thought. That's the logics.
Yeah.
That's the structure. That's the GPS address you put into the GPS.
Yeah.
Now think of the emotion. That's the feminine. That's the water
Hmm.
that the boat is on in the sea.
Yeah.
And whatever you feel is going to push it to the destination and create it as your reality. So, really, just knowing that when you align your thought, the masculine, with your belief,
Yeah.
faith, whatever you want to call it, which is the feminine, that's when you turn into a true, powerful manifester, and you just make anything you want become your reality.
Right. The way I see that more so is like finding the balance and having that relationship between the mind and the intuition, or like the mind and the heart, like
Mhm.
listening to the body, listening to the intuition, what does your heart want, but at the same time like using a little bit of logic every now and then. Yeah.
Because pretty much you got to have that imagination. So that's why visualization and just sitting and thinking, like I do this all the time. If it's something I want, I'll put the image in my mind. I'll close my eyes and I'm like, and I just be in the feeling, and I'll just sit there for 5 minutes, and I'm just in that thought and that feeling, and I'm sending a powerful energy, a frequency out. And I kid you not, I'll have an encounter where someone is like, yo, let's do this, whether it be like a business venture or something. I'll get something that creates that opportunity to
Yeah.
make it become a reality, because I'm matching this
Yeah.
thought and the feeling, and it's a high vibration. and the
Mhm.
universe will send it to you as your reality. And it's that simple. We can manifest so many things into our life. The
Mhm.
thing is, the things that we say we want, we don't believe in them. And
Yeah.
when you don't believe in it, that's when you
Yeah.
create resistance. So you're asking for it, but you're pushing it away at the same time, wondering why it's not coming to you, because it's trying to come to you when you ask for it. But the moment you start doubting it and don't believe in it, you're pushing it away.
That's so
So it's really just letting it in by asking and truly believing in it. And it
that's
will
why I'm like,
always become a reality.
yeah, that's why I'm really cautious of who I share my dreams with. Because
Mhm,
like I will believe it's true, like pretty much my whole life. Like even as a kid, like I have some of the same dreams for myself when I'm an adult or a mom. And then
mhm,
I'll share that with someone else and they'll be like, oh, that's like real unrealistic, or like, I don't know if you'll ever get that, or like, yeah,
mhm.
like, I don't know if that's for you. And it's like,
Yes, yes.
but yeah, and then that kind of like a one-off is okay, but it does, as much as I'm like, I'm gonna like stay in my belief in my dreams, yada yada. um it does tend to affect you eventually after like a decade of sharing the same dream to, and even if you're cautious of who you share it with, like over a decade you'll get maybe 100 or even just 20 people telling you like, or more people saying I don't think that's possible, or good luck with that, rather
Mhm.
than people who are like, F, that's awesome, like, you go, girl, And that's what's happened for me. It's like I've probably had a lot more people when I say my dreams be like, wow, that's a bit much, than people being like, yeah, you go, girl. So, yeah.
That's the thing, is because your dream is your dream, and no one's ever going to be as excited or passionate about it
Yeah.
than you, because it's your gifts, it's your things that are inside of you that you're sharing with the world. So, of course, others are going to either see it and feel intimidated because
Yeah.
they're not in a place to do it, or they don't know any better other than what they know and their limited beliefs. So it's just really, yeah, our dreams is our dreams. And I had to learn that too. I had to be sold on it before I tried to sell it to others. So I had to completely be sold on things that I'm doing, because honestly, now I talk about things that I know that I'm going to do that are not even happening. I have an energy bracelet line out
Yeah.
that I remember I said it before it was even here. And people thought, like, when can I get it? I'm like, oh, it's still in motion. But I was so in like belief in it that if anyone tried to come with any negative chatter,
Yeah.
cut it out. It wasn't even affecting me. Get out of here.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Wow. How long ago did you learn about these universal laws?
I've been aware of these for a little over 2 years now.
Hmm.
And I just wanted to share with the world. I have a free ebook
Yeah.
that I give to people to give them just more detail and they can have with them. I have a course that I have like videos with modules that really allows you to really go in depth and learn these, because these aren't taught many places, and it's like something you have to be vibrationally in alignment with to even
Yeah.
stumble upon becoming aware of them. And
Yeah.
once we learn them, as you see, like anything that we can talk about in regards to life and things, I can pull one of these laws out and be like, okay, this, that, and it just allows me to now put meaning on things, check myself, check my thoughts, my feelings, and just really create the life that I want.
I love it. Where can people find your ebook and just you online if they want to get in touch?
You can go to www.bentleytransformation.com is my website. Raymell Bentley, Raymell, Bentley, Bentley, Facebook, and then my name, Raymell B, on Instagram. And yes, I'm here to serve and just educate, help others see how powerful they are, and use that power to create whatever your heart desires.
Yeah, beautiful. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. I was so excited to
Yeah.
do this podcast episode and hear about all the laws. I didn't remember them all from when I heard about them a year ago, but like some of them I did. But yeah, the law of compensation, that one, I really
I
like.
challenge you to do some research, because as you learn more about it,
Mm,
it's gonna light something up within you that
yeah,
now. you can teach and show others. So there's no coincidence why that is something that's like in there. So now explore it.
Yeah,
Explore.
exactly. I know I wrote it down on my paper. I'm like, all right, I'm going to look into that later.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Raymell.
Thank you.
Hey YouTube fam, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button below. And if you think a friend, a family member, or just someone you know who could benefit from this podcast episode, please share this video with them. And if you've been enjoying the Elevate Your Soul podcast, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for new episodes weekly.